Hello dear audiences, this is Ahmed Shirkot and this is Professor Muzammil Haq. I will be actually asking him some crucial aspects about philosophy, about evil, the problem of evil. Can you just discuss about the problems of evil from the very beginning? Why evil is created? Can you not actually...
Well, problem of evil is usually asked and discussed as a religious problem, as a problem for the existence of God, and as an argument for atheism, okay, against the existence of God. If God is omnibenevolent, that means He is all good. Why there is evil? But actually, in philosophy, problem of evil is not discussed as a religious problem or problem with the existence of God. Actually, this is a problem in our life and reality. There is evil. Always there is evil.
There is evil in our mind. Is it like that?
Evil in our mind, evil in our nature, evil in our environment, evil is everywhere.
And what about mind? What is mind?
Mind is the different thing. According to the materialist, mind is the capacity of our brain to think, okay. But according to the dualist, the non-materialist, idealist, suppose they think that mind is a different stuff, and it works in an interactive process by the intervention of God or something else. Anyway, evil. Come to the evil. There is thundering. So in an atheistic world, there will be also thundering. And in a godless world, there will be some natural calamities, natural problems. So there are evils. But actually, we don't call the natural calamities evil, because it is not man-made and it is not initiated and controlled by any person or rational agent. If we think materialistically, okay, from an atheistic point of view. So we don't think in evil, because we think that evil is something which is voluntary, which is harmful to other sentient beings or other human beings.
Isn't it a drama created by God to actually justify His actions on the people, to say that I have created evil and I'm just testing you?
Actually, if there is evil, there cannot be any God. Clear? Okay. But we see evil is there.
Yes.
So there is no God. This is simple argument. Okay. Yeah. What the atheist people say. This is my way of discussion, that I present the other voices first,
right,
and in such a way that those people become convinced that this guy knows us very well.
Yes.
Okay. So if God is all good, if the world is not all good, that means God doesn't exist.
God doesn't exist.
This is an argument, okay. But in philosophy, problem of evil is not discussed only as a matter with the existence of God. It is discussed from a broad aspect, because there are also evil in our society. An atheist person can be cruel people. He could be with bad moral standard.
Yes.
He himself could be an evil, a Satan, suppose. Yes. So it is not all about the existence of God. It's all about the problem, the duality, good and bad in our world. So I have a very lengthy discussion, and I have, you see, I have a note on this problem of evil,
yes,
and it is at my hand, and it consists of, I see, 44 points to discuss, and once I discussed it with my colleagues,
yes,
and it took 2 hours and 37 minutes.
Right. So it's a very lengthy
Professor
process.
Mannan sir and Dr. Kurban Ali was present there.
Yes.
Okay. So it's very lengthy, but we have to make a brief discussion here.
Yes.
Let's come to the point. What you, Shaikot, actually want? An evil-free world?
Yes, of course.
Of course.
it is not possible to some extent, because we do have evil.
To some extent, but to some extent possible.
Of course.
Can you show me one area where we can make it evil free? Suppose.
Yes, through enforcing law.
Enforcing law.
Yep.
Okay.
By rationalizing their mind.
Enforcing law, rationalizing their mind.
Yes.
These are very vague words. In philosophy of language, vagueness is a chapter. Once I taught philosophy of language, text philosophy of language by Ollaston. There were 5 chapters. One chapter is vagueness, and when we start to read vagueness and study on vagueness, the ambiguous meaning of words, vagueness, we start with the idea that some words are vague and most of the words are precise.
Yes.
We end up the discussion with the idea that most of the words are vague, a few are precise, and lastly, actually, precision goes away. No word is so precise. So you enforce the law, but is the law just? Is the law a good law? Can you ensure it? How can you get a good law?
Yes.
By what composition? From which source? Yes. You have said this, rationalizing the people. Your reason and my reason may differ. So if you rationalize me, maybe you are radicalizing me.
Perhaps.
you are imposing your dogmas on me.
Yes.
You are just making me a disciple of you.
You may profoundly.
So how can rationality is not a matter of transfer.
Right.
If you transfer your rationality on me, then it will not be justified for me to accept, which we call in our epistemology lucky guess. Even if you are right, then it will not count as knowledge if you don't get it properly.
Right.
So come to the point. Evil is a must.
Evil is a must.
Where there is no dark, there will be no light.
So you're talking about
where there is no bad, good will be meaningless.
Yeah.
Where there is no evil, nothing will be good for us. What is the location? Where can we put the evil? Where evil comes from? How can we manage the evil? What will be the management of the badness? Is different thing. Yeah. But if you eliminate the badness, goodness will be gone.
Yes.
You cannot think about a world without bad. Come to the second point. We have to conclude it within 10 minutes, I suppose. Come to the second point. What is our world? This world is not a flat world. Suppose this table is flat. The glass of water is here, the wristwatch is here, the cell phone is here, the spectacles are here, everything. We are placing hand on here. This is the flat, okay?
Yeah.
But see this, the cell phone is on the tab is on the diary on the note is on the glass, actually glass is on the tablecloth is on the table is on the floor is on so on. So this is stratified. This is, what should I say, this is hierarchical.
Yes.
This is not flat. This is not horizontal. Okay. The world has been created. Doesn't matter who created it, nature or God. Yes. The world has been created in this way. One is superior to another, and the superior one is inferior to another one.
In this hierarchy, there should have someone last. Who is the last?
We don't know. We don't know who is the last. This is the philosophical question. Actually, philosophy started with the very question, what is the ultimate stuff of reality?
Yes, that's it.
Which is the main thing from which everything has been created. Thales answered water, someone answered fire, someone answered so and so. The answer was wrong, but the very question was right. So, it's a philosophical question. But come to the reality. Some questions we leave for the philosophers. We know that, time is unlimited. Suppose, or anything unlimited. What is the infinitude will be? What is the ontology of infinitude? That's a philosophical question. But we measure the time, we measure the length, we have our physical position, and we measure and justify and do with a mutual relation.
Right.
Okay. So infinitude is a physical problem, is a philosophical problem.
Right.
But we live in a finite world.
Right.
It is an assumption on infinitude. So, where from evil has come, that's different thing. What is the last thing on which everything is standing, that is also a philosophical question, because it deals with such an area that science cannot cover. No empirical, data can cover it. On basis of some findings, we philosophize it. We make argument. Okay.
There are limitations of science. Is there?
My point is that we live in a world where everything is not on a flat surface. So things are not circular even. Nothing comes back. What is gone, that goes forever. Negation of negation, the third principle of dialectics. So actually, I want to say that the world is cyclical. Cycle, or not of the existence. Cycle of life.
So
cycle of life.
Once something is going away,
we are eating something, and that thing is eating another thing. That thing is eating another thing. We have come here through the process of annihilation of our forefathers, and our later generation will come after we are gone. So this is the world. Okay. So what you see as bad, actually good for others. So whatever in a cyclical world, you cannot make all the person happy. In that video with my colleagues, I told that my father will not be happy if I am at the age of 54 that I am right now. Okay. To make my father happy, I have to be a boy in his family. And his father should die. And if his father, my grandfather, has to be happy, my father should not be my father. Okay? So, what we are dealing with?
When you're talking
we are dealing with the problem. To clarify the existence of this world, we are not sit together to think about, to discuss and debate about such a world which is not real, not existent, which we cannot even think about. We cannot think about a flat world.
The reincarnation process, that's something which is cycling, life cycle.
Reincarnation is a belief. It's matter of religion. Reincarnation is not science. Science is negation of negation.
Isn't it a religious philosophical point of view for that?
That's religion. Some people do believe that bodies have soul and souls come with a new body. This is assumption, this is belief. This is not philosophy.
So when you
that assumption may have some argument for, but that is not science. Everybody is dependent on scientific findings. But the problem is that, the problem of scientism, which I call scientism, problem is that some people think, even some scientists think that science can answer all the questions.
No, of course not.
On the contrary, some people think that philosophy can answer all the questions. Some people think that religion can answer all the questions. Actually, those are category mistake. In my chart, I have shown you earlier. We start with science, actually observation. And if we enlarge our area, we engage with arguments. Okay, and among the alternative arguments, we go for one option, that is a submission to some belief system, which is the core of religion, characteristic of religion. So, science, philosophy, and religion. This is the hierarchy. So, we base on science. What is the scientific fact? Scientific fact is that in a food cycle, cyclical world, I eat something, and I become a victim of some predator. Okay. When we die, our bodies are eaten by the germs and insects and okay. So first point is that evil is a must. Second point is that we live in a
necessary evil kind of word.
Evil, holistically necessary. Evil is necessary. Suppose thundering is a must. So someone can die by thundering, electric bolt. But I'll be expecting that I will not die, and you will not, and my near and dear ones will not, but someone has to die. Okay, I will not be expecting that my parents will die.
So you're telling
but they must. If they are not
for death.
Of course, holistically there must be evil. Then come to the point. Next point.
Evil will stress us to the hell.
If you eliminate the evil, the non-evil, the goods will be meaningless and eliminated good will face a self-annihilation.
Yes, if there is no evil, there will be no
good. No good.
Too.
The next point was that we live in a world where there is a stratification, where there is hierarchy, where there is cycle, where there is someone has to be annihilated and destroyed for the beginning and birth of another one. Okay, even in the incarnation process, earlier existence must be annihilated to get a new existence, but it is controversial and it is actually a religious belief.
Yes.
Then come to the next point.
We're discussing so many things. That's why we are actually moving from one topic to another one. But still, the people who love philosophy, they will be enjoying us a lot.
Well, I come to the point. If the world is such that there must be evil, and something is evil for me, maybe that is not evil for you.
Yes. It's about the point of view difference.
Okay, when I see something from a limited, point of view, it reveals as evil to me.
Yes.
But when I see that very thing from a wider point of view, I see that it has a necessity and utility. So, if I am to say something is bad and evil, I must see it from a holistic point of view.
Yes, of course.
But how much I can be at distant point and say that, well, I've come to the last point and I'm seeing everything, and I see that this thing is good and this thing is not good, it's bad.
Yes.
I can't say this, or because my experience is limited.
Yes.
Only someone beyond the world can see something as good or bad. When someone knows everything.
Right.
Thank you. Come to the another point. 2 points more. One point is the luck distribution. We are lucky enough we are born. Yes. So many sperms, so many eggs has been miscarried, and we are so lucky.
Yes.
The miscarriage of the baby, the fetus, or the person killed in the early age, and so all the evil. Had there been no evil, there will be no good.
Yes.
And you cannot say that I am lucky for my existence, and that is not good. It is self-contradictory.
Yes.
You have got your existence. You have become a man. You have become a person. You have been favored by nature or by God. Yes. Favor is a must.
Yes.
If you say that I am so unlucky, I am so worthless, you can say anything, but you have become first.
Yes.
To say anything about you.
Yes.
Why you have become? Why you have got birth? Why have you become in this way? You could be something else. You could be nothing. You could be a man in a cave in a ancient period, not in advanced period of this way. You could be a child in a poor family, I suppose.
Right.
So you are lucky. I am lucky.
Yeah.
And is it innocent to think that let everyone be lucky? But I discussed it earlier that everyone cannot be lucky.
Question of
if
happiness.
If everyone is lucky, nobody will be lucky and everything will be gone.
Is it too much relative? I mean, when I'm comparing my happiness with you, I'm pretty much unhappy. When you're comparing with other people,
the person who commits suicide, why he commits suicide? Because he thinks that he is unhappy. Because the underlying principle of his feeling of unhappiness is that he thinks that he was supposed to be happy. Happiness was his right. His or her. Yeah. Happiness was his or right. He was supposed to get it, but somebody has deprived him or her, or he has deprived himself.
Yes.
So very underlying initial thing is that he is lucky and he is happy with his position, and he assumes that he was supposed to be lucky. He was supposed to be happy.
Right.
So if you are happy, if you want to get a future where you will be happy, what you will do? What you will do?
I will be actually expecting
doing good things.
Yes, I will be.
Okay. So you will be doing good things. Can you do good things when God has made everything fixed for you? From God's point,
predetermined. If God
from God's point of view, from God's point of view, it has been determined.
Why?
But
Why?
from your point of view,
Yes.
from your point of view, you are not determined. If you say that I am determined, but you are not forced and compelled to say this. If you say that I don't have any freedom, but you are saying this freely,
Right.
out of your own choice.
Right.
So freedom is empirical fact. I have made a poster yesterday.
Yes.
I've shown that liberty is a combination of freedom and authority. Where there is 100% freedom, liberty is meaningless. Freedom is non-existent. When there is 100% authority and determination, freedom is meaningless.
Right.
Freedom or liberty is a combination.
So,
You have some limitations,
Yes.
inner and external,
Yes.
and you have some liberty and scope. But from God's point of view, holistically, everything is fixed. And you will be surprised and amused to know that this kind of determination is not a religious phenomenon.
So God does have
The people of science who are atheist people, suppose, take them, do they believe in liberty and freedom? No. No.
They believe in
No,
liberty.
they believe in determination, but they call it self-determination. The rhetoric is libertarianism.
Libertarianism.
That is the combination between authority and liberty. In a world, everything is governed by law.
Right.
You cannot do anything beyond the law. You cannot break the law.
Yes.
If you do something exceptional, you do it by some different law,
Yes.
by some upper law,
Yes.
by some more powerful something. But you cannot do something of your own, by your
I
whim.
want to add one point about the Stalin's point. Stalin's,
Yeah.
Karl Marx.
Sorry.
I have studied these things. So you are someone about the philosophy, talking about philosophy. I'm talking about the political philosophy of these people. They imposed so many difficult rules on their people, especially if you just look at the countries like China, in this day, Cuba.
In any totalitarian and authoritarian country, there will be so many laws.
Trying to understand that if you want to, even if you don't believe in God,
Even
just
in
imposing
our
state
country,
atheism.
there are so many laws. When
Yes.
people don't follow the law, and when people are not rationalized, or they are not civic,
Right.
government forms the laws, one after another
They
laws.
just follow the state atheism. Atheism, when we're talking about the really politicization of religion or a specific religion.
Atheism is a dogmatism.
Yes.
Atheism claims that God does not exist.
Yes.
This is conclusive remark.
Right.
That's why even Richard Dawkins, in his God delusion,
Yeah, good decision.
in the very famous
selfish gene.
scale, in the very famous scale,
Yeah.
he identified the atheism and theism as the two sides.
Two sides.
Seven
Of same
steps.
coin.
7 steps.
Yes.
7 steps. The first step is atheism. The last step is theism.
Yes.
Or if the theism is the first step, atheism is the last step. Defective theism. Defective atheism. Defective atheism. Probably atheism. Agnosticism. Skepticism. In this way,
Yes.
he made a scale. And
What
he
was the
identified
last stage?
last stage is theism and atheism. God does exist, theism. God does not exist, atheism. These two positions are conclusive positions. These two positions are dogmatic positions, and that's why Dawkins himself identified as defective atheist,
Or
not
agnostic,
100% effect. Agnostic, suppose.
Agnostic.
Maybe at best. So if you say it does not exist, the burden of proof
Right.
upon you.
Right.
So the state atheism that was imposed by the communist countries
Yeah.
in Soviet Union, suppose in some countries.
Yes.
This was really horrible.
Horrible on the people.
You cannot impose
Something
any
of the
idea on people.
Islamic revolution of 1979, when Iran actually imposed the rules on the people, where people profoundly disagree with some people.
Same kind of dogma. Same kind of dogma.
Not all the people in the society may believe in their religious.
State is an organization when they organize themselves on basis of the majority support.
Right.
Most of the people, not all the people, it is practically impossible.
Right.
But the most of the people want it. What the most of the people wanted is they unite within a treaty, which we call social contract theory,
Yes.
and then form a state, and government is the functional organ of the state.
In
But if any organization or anyone imposes some thoughts,
Yes.
some ideas on others, it is dogma.
So in international relations or political science, we basically say that democracy is the what I say repression on the minority of the people. So
Right.
isn't it also something like that?
In a way, democracy is not the best one, and actually there is no best one.
There is no best one. This is, and that's how we can actually conclude our speech. And evil is also important. If there is no evil, there is no.
This is the ontology. This is the ontology.
This is ontology. Thank you so much.